Hello, my good friends from week 6. This week, we have a unique opportunity to look at a historical document, and that document is, of course, one of the many reform movements that went on in corrections. Here's what happened. Back in the old days, as you'll remember from the bachelor's degree, they had trouble with wardens and administrators who were abusing inmates. And so they went through, and I'm talking about in the early days of the United States, before the country was even settled. And so when the Quakers came over, they had a reform movement wherein they tried to reform some of the prison systems and the methods of processing inmates. Well, those reforms continued to occur time and time again as the decades progressed. In point of fact, by the time the 1890s had rolled around, most of America was already settled, and they had another reform movement. In fact, it was called the Reformatory Movement, wherein instead of incarcerating people in big institutions, they put them into educational systems and tried to make them into better individuals. That fizzled out. Pretty soon the 1950s rolled along, and they tried again to rehabilitate inmates, and by the time the momentum on that thing got going, the 1980s presented us with the Get Tough on Crime movement. Anyway, at the end of the day, by the end of the 1990s, another reform movement had sprung up, and that's the one we're studying in this week. It is called the Comprehensive Incarcerated Persons Reform Act, CIPRA, is the acronym for that, and that's what we're going to study. So I want you to go in and watch this YouTube, which you're watching now. As soon as that's over, click on the overview for week 6, and you will be introduced to the topic that we're talking about, the Reform Act. Go ahead and answer the questions in the 10 questions on the CIPRA reform. And of course, that's the 10th thing that we're doing this semester. The whole time we're just thinking the inmates are why are we reforming all this? Why are we going through this whole thing? It's like, don't cry to me.
Don't cry to me. If you love me, you would be here with me. You love me. Come find me. Make up your mind.
So this is what we go through with the inmates all this time, and this is one of those miniature reform movements that we engaged in. That's what we're studying this week. If you need any questions, you call me. I'll see you then. Take it easy.